All right. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Hey guys, what's up? I hope y'all can hear me because let me see if y'all can. Oh yeah, y'all can. Cool. All right. Now let's make sure you guys can hear me on Facebook. Da-da-da-da. Yes, you can. Now let's make sure you guys can hear me on Facebook. Public. Da-da-da. Hey everybody, come on in. Come hang out with us. So what we're doing today, you guys, is we're going to be talking about how addiction affects children. So it's going to be really, really, really emotional. I'll tell you that. The reason why is because I literally have thousands of comments from children of addicted parents. About a week ago, I had put a video up on my YouTube channel, and all of a sudden the YouTube video just started going, right? There's over 120,000 views on the video right now. And so I was like, whoa, what's going on? This video is just like blowing up. They've never done that before on YouTube. And so I went to check and I started going through the comments last night. And when I tell you guys, like, I was crying my fucking eyes out. So I think it's important for us to like listen to the way children feel about us being addicted, because, you know, my little boy doesn't remember. My little boy was 1 year old. Okay. And so, hey, Phoebes, what's up, honey? You have the same problem? Yeah. So we're going to be talking about that. And I'm going to be reading these comments. I'm not going to say the person's name who shared it, though, because I'm going to keep it anonymous, because I'm gathering from the comments that a lot of these kids are underage, are not even 18 yet. I do want to say that if you're a child of somebody that struggles with addiction and you want to come share your story on my platform, if you can either, one, get permission from your parents, we can do it that way, or you need to be 18 or older. Okay. So hold on, you guys. I'm sharing this to my people on Facebook, and then I'll be ready to go. Okay, I think that's enough. So can everybody hear me good? Can everybody hear me? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hey, LB. Hey, Teresa. What's up, honey? Hey, Togo. What's up, honey? That's okay, Phoebes. You're more than welcome to stay in here with us. Okay, honey? So I want to welcome all the people that are in here who are not drug addicts, who love somebody who struggles with addiction. I know that there's going to be a lot of you guys in here, and I want you guys to know that you're safe here and that you don't have to worry about anything, okay? I will share a little bit about myself with you because I want to be honest and transparent, okay? So I am a drug addict, all right? I was addicted to methamphetamine, opiates, and cocaine intravenously, and benzodiazepines. And I'd smoke weed and drink alcohol, but those were my favorite. Those ones right there. Those ones were the ones I was the most addicted to. I had started using drugs when I was 17 years old. I was just a kid. I thought that using drugs was cool. I thought that getting high with my friends was making me better and made me cooler, and people liked me more. You know what I'm saying? And I also really, really struggled with my weight when I was a teenager, and still do. But back then I was really insecure about it, and I struggled with it a lot. And so when I found stimulants, methamphetamine and cocaine, and I realized I could do this drug and stay skinny, I didn't think about the negative consequences. So that's how I started my addiction when I was 17. I didn't get sober until I was 31 years old, okay? And I was pregnant with my son, and I was under the influence of methamphetamine. And I gave birth to my son when I was high, and I remember giving birth to my son and praying to God, please don't take him. Please don't take my baby. Please don't take my baby. And they didn't take my son because they didn't know that I was high. I don't know. I have no idea. This was back in 2014, and it was July 4th. And so I got to go home with my son, and I said, I'm never going to use drugs again. And for the next 90 days, I white knuckled it. Do you know what that means, white knuckling? It means I was barely hanging on by a thread because I didn't know how to stay sober. I had been using drugs for 20 years, 15, 16 years. I didn't know how to stay sober. And so after 90 days, I relapsed. And me and my friend Tara, we were shooting up, we were partying, and she got mad at me one day, and she called Child Protective Services on me. Child Protective Services came and they took my son from me. And the day that they took my son from me, I went into detox, and I got treatment, and I got help. And I've been sober ever since. My sobriety date is July 13th of 2015. I just celebrated 7 years this summer, and I have full custody of my son. I lost custody of my son when he was barely 1 year old. It was 2 days before his first birthday. I didn't even get to see my little boy turn 1. I didn't even get to go to his birthday party. It's because of me. It's my fault. It was my fault. Because I was in detox when my son was turning 1 year old. So anyway, for the next year, I fought for my son, and I got him back, and I fought so hard. But the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because some parents, they're not able to do that. Some parents don't go to treatment, and they go deeper into their addiction when their children get taken away. Child Protective Services thinks that taking your child is supposed to help you, right? To help you change. But some people, it pushes them farther down in that fucking deep hole of depression and shame, and they continue to use drugs, knowing that it's not good for them, knowing that it could harm somebody. It could affect their children to where they don't get to see them anymore, So I fought, though. I fought, and I got my son back, and he's 8 years old now. 8 years old, and he is smart as hell. Y'all are going to die. When y'all see him come in here, because he will come in here, and he will show you guys how smart he is, okay? But I wanted to introduce myself to you guys because a lot of you guys on my YouTube channel don't know anything about me. And I wanted to share that with you guys, that I am a drug addict. And I posted those videos because I'm trying to share more content from the point of view of the children who are affected by our addictions. I'm so proud of you. And by the grace of God, I'm still fighting too. Good, Laura. Toga, I'm okay, baby. I just get a little emotional. Dana says, you're such an awesome person, and I really appreciate your service and what you do for this community. I'm so grateful that I found you. Well, Dana, thank you. I'm grateful that you're here too. Sonia says, I remember my mom telling me that after we were taken away, she didn't see a reason to continue. Yes, Sonia, that happens a lot. And so I guess what I wanted to talk about is I kind of wanted to how many of you guys, if you're an addict that has children, put a 1 in the chat. If you're an addict who has children, put a 1 in the chat. If you're the child of somebody who is addicted, put a 2 in the chat so I can see what I'm working with here. And there's no, I don't want anybody to feel ashamed, okay? And I hope by sharing, from our perspective, that people who that the children that are here who have mothers and fathers that are addicted, I hope that by you guys sitting and hanging out with us, that you guys will hear about, our addictions, mom and dad's addiction. It's not because of you. It's not anything that you did. You are the most perfect thing that was ever made. And I promise you that every single one of your parents feels that way. I promise you. Okay. Addiction has nothing to do with you and everything to do with us and what's going on inside of us. A lot of the times we become addicted to drugs because we are struggling internally. You know, some people get addicted maybe after a car accident and they get prescribed opiates, or maybe somebody gets addicted because they had a horrible accident and got into a car crash, or they hurt their back, and that kind of thing, where they're prescribed the medication, um, and that happens to people, but some of us become addicted by simply following down the wrong path. And I hope that if you're the child of somebody who's addicted, that you'll listen to me and you will heed my warning, okay? When I was a kid, my parents told me, Nicole, there's nothing to do after 10 p.m. at night. Why are you going out and hanging out with these people? I promise you, it's nothing cool about it. It's only going to cause you harm. And I remember thinking, my dad is so fucking lame. He just doesn't understand. Like, screw him, I'm sneaking out the window. And I did. And I ended up getting to a crowd of people who were, everyday drug users. And so when you are hanging out with people that use drugs every day, you're going to start using drugs every day. It's kind of like that saying they say, if you can't go to the barber shop without getting a haircut, eventually you're going to get your haircut, Aw, Toga, thank you. I got hurt and then my dad passed and I was so full of grief. Absolutely. Is it Sharon? Sharon Polly? And so I don't mean to make anybody cry, but I just want you guys to understand that, a lot of the reasons that people become addicted is nothing to do with our kids. If anything, I'll tell you my experience with my son, okay? I became addicted to drugs, like I said, when I was a teenager. And a lot of the reasons why I became addicted was because I was insecure and I had low self-esteem and I had low self-worth. Oh, everybody wants you to say hi to him. This is my 8-year-old.
Hi. Why?
Tell him who you are. What's your name?
Nate.
And how old are you?
8.
And you made 100 on your test today?
Yes.
All right.
Are these people who don't even know you?
No, this is my YouTube and Facebook. So I got addicted when I was a teenager, okay? Teenager in high school. And I was super insecure. I had low self-esteem and I had low self-worth. And I didn't feel like I could go talk to my parents. And this is why thank you guys. This is why I want to open up like a conversation, because I want children whose parents struggle with addiction to know that, there's so much support out there for addicts, but what about the kids who struggle with their parents having an addiction? Who's out there supporting them? Who's giving them a platform for their voices to be heard, And so I really wanted to come on here and I wanted to share with you guys some of the comments and stories that have been left on my YouTube channel in the last couple of days from children of people who are addicted. And I want you to know that it's really, really hard to read these and you're probably going to cry. So go get yourself some tissue. Okay. But I think that it's important for all of us to hear this, because this is the reality of what drugs do to the family. And these children are on the front lines. Okay. They are the first thing that is affected by our addiction. All right. And you could say, well, Nicole, I don't have any children. Well, I bet you have nephews and nieces or somebody that looks up to you that's younger than you that it can affect. So it affects children dramatically. And I knew that, but I didn't realize it until I started reading these comments. Okay. Like, I don't think you guys understand what I'm saying, but you're fixing to real quick, because it's going to really hit you in the gut. Like it hit me. That's what it did. It hit me in the gut. But where is it at? I'm glad that kids these days share now. When I was growing up, I was told if you tell anyone, CPS will take you away and you will never see your mom again. Did you hear that, you guys? Yes. So, and that's what I love. Like, I never knew that children, yes, I'm sober and I've been sober for 7 years. I never knew that kids were sharing how they felt or what happened to them before I came to TikTok. And when I joined TikTok, that's when I started to see kids posting about their experiences with their family members who were struggling with addiction. And so, okay. Okay, here we go. This is our first comment. I want y'all to listen. I lost my mom to drugs as well. When I got out of that situation, I was relieved. Keep your head up, girl. It gets better. Next. My mom was an alcoholic. She tried to get help, but because of our family situation with my dad, she couldn't because she didn't want to lose me. Fly high, mama. It's really hard just to read these. I'm telling you guys. My dad was struggling a lot with drinking too much alcohol. He got drunk very often, but I decided to write him a letter and put it on his work desk. It is very hard for me to talk about my feelings, so I just wrote them down instead. He sent me a text message telling me how sorry he was. He is doing a lot better and makes sure to spend time with me and my brother instead of drinking. I love my dad so much. I lost my dad 4 years ago after he relapsed and overdosed. It's so hard. Time hasn't made it much easier. I was always extremely close with him. Even through addiction, he was still a good father. Though for periods of time he was secretly hiding money, lying to my mom about his paycheck so he could secretly buy drugs. We were always very poor growing up, and while my dad never let us starve, it does hurt to know we could have had a lot better off financially if it weren't for his addiction. I remember him fondly, and I miss him, but also realize my life is actually a lot better now that he's gone, because I don't have to constantly stress about every dollar. I'm so mad at him. I know addiction is an illness, but I'm still mad at my dad for keeping his relapse a secret, for not getting help, for overdosing, for all the money he spent on drugs that could have been better spent. It's rough. This is mostly just me venting, sending love to everyone else out there who has or has lost an addict parent. Like, these are kids. Like, when I read these, I think about my son typing these things out. I'm 12 right now, and my dad was an alcoholic. I'm pretty sure all my life. He would get very bad sometimes, but he never abused me physically or hurt me. Since my parents divorced when I was 4, my mom often had to come get me in the middle of the night from my dad's house because he was drunk and unable to care for me. Ever since I was about 10, I didn't stay at my dad's house at night, but I saw him during the week before going back to my mom's. On Sunday mornings when I was meant to see him, sometimes he didn't show up because he had a rough night. And I eventually got used to that, which I should have never had to. My dad was amazing, and he tried to help himself a lot since he had bipolar and mental health issues and wanted to be the best dad he could. I know he made some wrong choices, but we had so much fun together because he was the best I could have ever gotten, and we were really close. He sadly passed away on the 4th of September this year at the age of 46 due to something possibly wrong with his heart, and because it was early in the morning and he didn't show up, I thought he had just had a rough night and forgot about me. So I didn't get to spend the day with him, and I'm in tears since it only happened 4 days ago. I'm struggling with many things. I have therapy with a professional and help from my mom, who I now live with fully. But I will never forget him, and I will cry every single tear in my body for him. I miss you, Daddy. You were the best dad ever and always will be. I hope you get to eat your nachos in heaven, and you will forever be loved and missed. Oh my God. I gotta take a break. So these, as you can hear and see, that these are 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old kids commenting on this video, and they can relate to losing a parent to addiction. You know, it really, really like drives it home for me that like I can never use drugs and alcohol ever again. And if you are ever somebody who's like struggling with like reservations or thoughts of using, like come back to this video and listen to these comments left by these children, because that could be your child. Your child one day could be standing over your body, finding you dead from an overdose. You know, when me and my husband got sober, we got sober together. And my biggest fear has always been that my husband will relapse and me and my son will come home and find him. Biggest fear I've ever had in my whole entire life. And that fear alone is what helps me to stay sober, because I know that my son has to have somebody here. He has to have somebody, you know? And so that helps me to stay on the right path. And I hope it helps my husband stay sober too, because it's just that can happen. So many people that I know have passed away from the disease of addiction, specifically from overdosing on fentanyl or some kind of other opioid. And it really hit close to home when my husband was working at Kroger. And this guy, Chris, that I had worked with before and I had been in sober living with him, he overdosed and died. He had been living out in his car in front of the Kroger, and he had came up to me because I was working at Hallmark, and he asked me if I could help him find sober living. So of course I got right to it and, texted him some phone numbers of some sober livings. Well, I guess he didn't make it, to the sober living, and now he's dead, So it's just every time somebody dies from the disease of addiction, I put myself in that person's position. I put myself in their loved one's shoes, and I think about, what if that happened to me? What if that was my loved one? How would I feel? What would I do? So many of us never make it. Years ago, there wasn't much help in recovery. So many of my family thinks I traded one for the other. I hope and pray people will understand one day. It is so sad, but I almost expect the death of my people. It is really, really sad. And here's the thing. This is why it's so important, you guys, for us to shut our fucking mouths and stop judging people for their path to recovery. Because if taking medication-assisted treatment keeps a needle out of your arm and enables you to be able to be a parent to your children, that's all that should matter. I'm so sick and tired. Bye, Toga. See you later, baby. Thanks for coming in. We love you. You are loved, hun. Okay. And if you need anything, you can just text me. There's so much judgment going on in the recovery community from our own peers, from people who are sober also. And it's all about, because there's different ways to get sober. Well, you didn't get sober my way. Well, you didn't sober my way. I'm currently trained in rescue and recovery through Main Access Point. Oh, that's great, girl. Good job. Mwah! Love you to death. It's just the judgment in the recovery community has got to stop. Like, honestly, we are going to keep on. We could be helping so many people if we would shut up and just help each other, just love each other, just support each other. Like, I hope that hearing these comments left by these children, I hope that makes you step back and think, you know what? If Nicole has to be on Suboxone for the rest of her life because she can be a mom to Nathaniel, then that's okay. I think I support that shit. We all walked into treatment and died. I never wanted my mom to feel what I felt. I always care, or can. Good. Hi, Nikki. Love you. Keep it up. Hey, James. What's up, baby? So I want y'all to listen. Everybody stay in here. Do not leave, okay? Because y'all need to hear these. Y'all need to hear these. My dad is an alcoholic and is abusive, verbally and mentally, and very manipulative. I'm getting older and getting out of this, but my mom's still going to be with him for some years. I'm working so hard to get her out of this with me too. I'm healing as a person and I've grown so fast. I'm only 14. Felt so alone growing up because everyone else's parents felt so in love. Please know you're not alone and you're never alone under any circumstances. Reach out for help and healing is on the way. That's from a little 14-year-old girl whose dad is an alcoholic, who is abusive, beats her and her mom. She's working hard to get out of there at 14. She shouldn't even have to be worrying about getting out of the home at 14 years old. She should be worrying about making good grades and getting ready to go to high school and playing basketball or getting on the cheer team or playing in the band. That's what she should be worried about. She should be worried about picking out her college when she wants to go to college. But instead, she's worrying about escaping her alcoholic father's abuse. It's hard to hear this. I understand my dad did drugs my whole life and he's recovering now, but I understand and it's extremely hard to deal with. Sending prayers. Here's the next one. Well, my dad is an alcoholic. Not every day, but every single day when he doesn't have work, he does the same shit on the weekends. He usually puts loud music, which made my ears hurt. Also, he usually hits me for no good reason at all. Sometimes he says a lot of cuss words in Spanish. He's Mexican. And I understand what he says because I'm Hispanic. My mom usually cries because they fight all the fucking time. And it makes me cry by seeing my mom get hurt. My mom got cut beside her eye. Hopefully God will fix this problem. Sometimes I'm scared of my dad. Not all children have a good life and good parents. Me. And then he said, also, I'm 11 and this still continues on and having a tough childhood. My little sister is 5 and my other baby sister is 2 and we're having a tough childhood. But we learned that we can take care of each other. My niece's father died last October and my sister lost her rights very shortly after that. Lord. So I never ever imagined that posting a video could leave a place for so many to feel so comfortable to share. And that's why I'm not saying their names. I'm leaving them anonymous, okay? But I think it's really, really important for us drug addicts to hear these things. Like, it's really important. I didn't see my dad too much because of drugs as well, but he passed away 2 years ago. My dad quit alcohol when I was about a year old, and I'm so thankful he quit when he did. Both of my dads were addicts, and now I don't have a dad. I feel you, girl. Those stories open our eyes and hearts. Absolutely. Mom, what?
Could you show a?
No, I can't. When my husband and I, no, I can't. When my husband and I share our childhood, it couldn't be more night and day, right? Me and my husband's childhoods are very different too.
Excuse me.
What? No, baby, I cannot show a gun on
a
this.
BB gun.
No. My dad was an alcoholic, and it really affected his liver and caused him to die last year. So I know that these are hard to hear, you guys, but I also think it's important that like these children get to have their stories heard, you know? Like, I knew that my addiction affected my son, but I didn't realize to what magnitude. I knew that I was, hurting my family, but I didn't realize how bad. And these are children who they'll never forget this. Even the children whose parents are recovering, they comment because they'll never forget the fact that their mom or dad was using drugs. Phoebe said, me too. I didn't see my dad for 7 years. Baby, I'm so sorry. Children shouldn't have to know what this feels like. I was an addict, but my kids didn't go without or get abused. I just wasn't there mentally, and I take responsibility for that. My heart breaks for these kids. My dad was an addict and went into recovery and was free for 11 years, and he relapsed, and he's now currently on meth with COPD. I'm scared I will find him dead one day. Maddie, I'm so sorry. Hey, Margie, come on in, girl. We're bring your tissue because you're going to cry. For sure. I'm a daughter of an addict, and now I have a daughter. I have to break the cycle. Absolutely. Exactly. And so, Maddie, I know how you feel because that's how Nathaniel was well cared for. You know, I never abandoned him or anything like that. But because I was using drugs and alcohol, like I couldn't possibly be fully present. And so, like, during my pregnancy, I don't remember really much of my pregnancy because I blocked it all out. You know, somebody asked me the other day, they said, how could you continue using when you knew that you had a baby inside of you? And honestly, it's because I disassociated from my body. I honestly didn't. When I would use, I was pissed off at myself. I was angry. I felt horrible. I felt much shame and guilt. But I was getting so high on meth, and I would be so fucking skeezed out and in hallucinations that a lot of the times I was like disconnecting from myself. Also, I didn't really start showing until like 7 months pregnant. And I can remember crying because I felt like, why don't I have a belly? Like, what's going on? I thought that I was upset because I felt like I just looked like I was fat instead of having a belly, a baby, you know? And I would disconnect from myself and almost not associate being pregnant with me because I was always so far gone in my mind. You know, it's only by the grace of God that my son is so smart and so healthy like he is. I'm telling you guys, God literally saved my son's life from me. And it's hard for me to say that, you know, he saved my son from me. And I was supposed to be the one who's supposed to be protecting him. He was supposed to be able to be safe in my womb and not have to worry about anything. Just eat and sleep and kick and have fun all day long, you know. But instead, my poor baby, and I know this is what was going on. He was getting high and having his heartbeat elevated and kicking me in the middle of the night and all kinds of stuff. And I knew he was kicking me because he was getting, you know, like he was tired. He's like, Lord, leave me alone, Mom. Stop doing all this. And I felt so guilty. And I'm not saying that because this is not funny. It is not funny. Okay. But it's the truth of what happened. You know, it's the truth. I cannot explain to you how my son came, how he was spared. All I know is that it's a miracle. God protected him. You know, he was born absolutely 100% perfect and sober and happy and healthy. They gave him tests, APGAR scores, and everything. I'm telling you guys, God put something around my son, okay, that protected him from getting that meth in him. He wrapped him around in his hands and literally pulled him out of me and put him on the you know, in the emergency room, and they cleaned him off because I was so fucked up the day that I gave birth that I was miserable. I was miserable and I was in labor and it hurt so bad because I was so messed up and my nerves were on 1000, you know? It was hard, y'all, and I feel horrible and I hate myself because I can't even remember the good I have nothing good. Like people say, oh, let me show you pictures of my baby and oh, look, this is me at 1 month. This is me at 2 months. No, I don't have any of that. I don't have any of those pictures because I was a dumbass and I was skeezing out all over Little Rock, Arkansas. You know, like I wish to God I could go back and I could remake memories and I could do it all over again. So that way I could have those pictures and I could take that time with my mom and my sisters and do special things, you know. But anyway, I can't go back in time. If I could, I would. You know, there's not a lot that I would change in my life, but that's one thing I would change. I would go back and I would not do that. I would have gotten help and I would have gotten sober. So that's why I hope that people hear my story and learn from my mistake. Learn from my mistake so that way you don't have to put your children through that. I couldn't believe my daughter was real until I heard her cry. I'm glad your son is okay. God knew you would come out on top as a mom. That's right. I really wish I could go back in time. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Chris. Hey, Maddie. Hey, Laura. I see all y'all in here. Are y'all ready? Here we go. We're about to hear another comment from another kid whose parents struggle with addiction. Okay. So I remember when I was 6, I was snooping through my dad's phone and I saw a picture of my mom's mugshot from Facebook. And then when she got out on my 7th birthday, she left without saying anything. And she hasn't even set cards. And now I'm going to be 13. My mom used to be an alcoholic and a drug addict for a long while when I was a kid. That being said, I'm so glad she's been able to make a full recovery and is currently 11 years sober. It's tough and sometimes they don't recover. What matters is living the best life you possibly can. My dad was a major alcoholic and was abusive. He had been a drug addict in the past but had quit when I was little, or so we thought. He was very sick and depressed, and one day he decided he couldn't take it anymore. He knew if he drank again, he would get caught drinking right after rehab. Oh, he knew if he was drinking again, he would get caught. So he did drugs instead. Little did he know it would kill him minutes later. That was almost 2 years ago. It still hurts me to this day to think about it. The memories that you make today will outweigh the memories of yesterday. Thank you, Jody. Thanks, Phoebes. I'll see you later, girl. Love you. My 3-year-old grandson has been living with me most of his life. His mother always says, but I'm clean. But her drug tests prove her different, and I'm struggling with my grandson because of what she did when she was pregnant. What happened? So Annette, so she's not passing her drug screens. Bye, Phoebes. I'll see you later, girl. Text me if you want to, okay? And we'll get you on the channel to share your story. Nicole, you made the change, girl, and now you're helping others, including me, who struggle with family and friends on drugs. Thank you. Thank you, girl. So I'm so sorry. So Annette, she's not passing her drug screens. See, that's what you have to do. So Annette, I applaud you though for taking your grandson and taking care of him, because I wish my mother and father-in-law could have taken my son when I went into treatment. I wish that could have happened for me, because I really, really didn't want my son to have to go to freaking foster care, you know? But the state of Arkansas, they're assholes. She's never passed one of them, and she keeps telling me that her son doesn't belong with me. Well, he's doing much better now, but I'm taking him to so many different doctors to try and get them to be, I don't know how to put this, a normal little 3-year-old. Yeah, so is it because, what is he not like meeting his milestones? Is he have anger issues? Is he developmentally delayed? Tell me that. Because so when my little boy was born, like I said, I was under the influence when I was pregnant, when I gave birth, and my son had no issues at all. He hit all of his milestones really good, really fine, didn't he, Neil? The only thing that he had, you guys, was he couldn't hear. And we started to realize it when he got, right before he was going to turn 1, I think. It was probably like 3 or 4 months before he turned 1. We would be saying his name and he wouldn't turn around and look at us. And that's when we realized, hey, he can't hear us. He can see and all that stuff, but he can't hear. And so we took him to the doctor, and that's when they told us that he needed tubes in his ears. And so he got the tubes in his ears, and now he's been perfect ever since. But I am just so fortunate. Now, I will tell you this. He is in 3rd grade now, and 3rd grade is no joke. They give homework in 3rd grade. And I am noticing that he has problems listening to directions. And what I mean by that is he wants to hurry through everything. Like, he wants to get his worksheet and get his stuff done and not have to bring it home and homework. But I want him to go slow, pay attention, and not get the wrong answer. Because what he does is he goes through it really quickly. His writing looks like shit because he's not taking his time. And then he gets the answers wrong because he's rushing. Because I know that he knows the answers to these questions. Because he's good at reading and vocabulary and that kind of thing. His challenge is in math. And so that's what I'm noticing. But it's not something that I feel like he needs to get on medication for. Like he's able to be quiet during class and pay attention. He's not like, getting in trouble for being defiant or disrupting the class. My mother actually admitted to me the other day that she is proud of me because she thought for sure I would lose custody before her. But hallelujah, I'm in recovery. Hell yeah, Laura. He's got many more doctor's appointments to go to, but so far, all I was told is that he's ADHD and that he'll need special ed in school. So, Annette, ADHD can be used to your advantage. He can actually have ADHD, and a lot of kids who have ADHD are really, really smart. They just have all that energy that's misplaced. So if you can get him like involved in some extracurricular activities, I know he's just 3, put him in gymnastics, girl. Get him in gymnastics where they teach him how to do little flips and stuff like that. So that way he has something to like blow his steam out on. Gymnastics, karate. Let me think what else. When he turns 4, he'll be able to go to preschool, right? Preschool. But I'm telling you, that would probably help a lot. Hey, Thomas, what's up, man? At least you take responsibility for your pregnancy. My mom openly admitted using PCP, and acid when she was pregnant. I was born at 7 months gestation in the hospital for months after birth. My mom left me, and my dad came and got me and took me home. Oh, goddamn. Maddie, I cannot wait to hear your story tomorrow. Are you going to come on tomorrow? Thank you, Thomas. I didn't want to be like her. She died when she was 42. I will definitely look into it. I'm trying to get him into daycare so he can have some interaction with other children. Yeah. So, and listen to me, like when my son was small, I didn't have him in daycare or anything like that. So like it was difficult for him when he first started his first year of pre-K. But once he got in there and he got acclimated and got comfortable, he loved it. He loved it. He needed to be around other kids, And so, yeah, use that ADHD as a positive and get his little butt in some stuff to keep him busy. And that I bet you that will I'm telling you, it'll really, really help a lot. I know it will. Because that's what a lot of us. I mean, I know that, even Nate doesn't have ADHD, I don't think, but he still has, like major energy. And also like when you're a little kid and you had to be taken from your mom, that's traumatic, and also he might be very mad at his mom or upset or sad and on the inside, that his mom won't get better, and he wants to have, I'm sure, he wants to be with his mom or have some kind of interaction with his mom. So that can make children really, really like defiant and angry because they want their parents, Okay. What do you need help with, Thomas? Okay, here's another. I want y'all to listen to this. My mom was in an abusive relationship with my biological dad. He was an alcoholic and an addict. He would hit her. One day she had enough. He was drunk. My mom was picking up beer bottles. She dropped one, so he hit her. So my mom broke his face, nose, jaw, and eyebrow bone. Then my mom called the cops. Then he went to prison, and my mom left him that night. I was 5. Side note, he was so drunk all the time he could not get a job or drive. He would ask for the neighbor's truck, or he would walk to get alcohol. And now it's been 8 years since I have seen him, and I have a stepdad. He's a better father than that other man could have ever been. Wow. My real mom is the same way. Luckily, my dad took me underneath his wing and has helped me a lot. I was only 5 when I stopped seeing her, and now I don't know where she is. Talking about his mom. One more. My dad went to jail for drinking and driving when I was 1. My parents split up shortly after when I was 7. My dad had another kid with a different woman about a year after they were together. She told him that if he wanted to see my brother, he couldn't drink at her house or when he's with my brother. But he kept drinking, so they broke up after 4 years. My dad gets married to a lady, or 4 years later, my dad gets married to a lady. I met once. They were engaged 6 months later. They divorced because of his drinking. Now he lives with my grandma, and I haven't seen him in 2 months. I try my best not to visit him because of how I feel when being around him. So that's what we put when we're getting fucked up. Our children they feel uncomfortable around us. They don't feel loved and taken care of and stable and safe. Yeah, Thomas, text me and I'll call you after this. Dear Lord, and Lady, please send strength and healing, light, and love to all who struggle with this disease. I wonder what problems will arise for my girl as she gets older. I know it's my fault. Yeah, and that's a lot of the things, a lot of the shame and guilt that I struggle with is because of the way I feel about my past, And a lot of people tell me, "Well, Nicole, just forgive yourself. Just forgive yourself. You're sober now." It's not that easy, you guys. It's not that easy. If it was that easy, I promise you I would have already done it. But it's a lot harder than you think. Um, it really is. So I wanted you guys to know that if you want to come up and talk and share, I just put a link in the chat right there. It says StreamYard's link. That is a link to come and talk and share. Maybe you want to share a little bit of your story. Maybe you want to tell us about something that you've overcome recently, or share with us how long you've been sober and what you got sober from. Nate, please stop, baby. Like, I'm in the middle of my live. And it's really important. And you know that. Okay. So bother your dad right now. Okay. This is our time, right, you guys? We don't get this time, but once a day. And my Facebook people, I know for sure, they really look forward to us going live together. So I just put a link in the chat. If any of you guys. Okay, hold on, Jody. I think I have to put it in there from on Facebook's side too. Hold on. Hold up. Hey. Yeah, it didn't share the link on Facebook, but you guys see it on YouTube. Cool. Okay. How am I going to do this? I know. Messenger. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to put it on, because I had to send it to myself in Messenger, and now I'm going to take it off my Messenger and put it on Facebook. So, okay. Oh, come on now. I want to copy this. Well, hell.
Sorry.
How's everybody doing, though? I want to know how y'all are doing in your recovery. Why don't you guys do me a solid and put in the comments how long you've been sober and something that you're grateful for. Okay? 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 Okay, I'm a nerd.
Look, Mom. Look.
What, buddy?
Look.
I see, Nate. Stop. Okay? Stop it. You're about to make me mad. Little chinga. Okay, why can't I share that with everybody? Damn. Hey, Sonia, can you text me that link? Can you somehow click it and text it to me on my cell phone? Yeah, Yeah, if you switch over to YouTube, you can jump up and come and share. But I want to get it on the Facebook side too, because I know a lot of you guys on the Facebook side. Oh, I got an idea. Hold on. I have an idea. Stay with me, guys. Okay. Why do I want to listen to a hater gotta say? Every other day. Look at that face. I'm hot right now, and you're not okay. Oh, you big mad? Oh, you big mad? Every other day. Okay. Hold on, guys. I got this. Paste.
It's on repeat.
Oh, you big mad? Oh, you big mad? Every other day. Okay.
It's echoing.
I know. Ooh, can you see it now, you guys, on the Facebook side? I'm going to be honest. I have not kept track because of the judgment and people saying Suboxone wasn't sober, but been on it for 15 years. So, Laura, I am so glad that you shared that with all of us. So, tell me this, Laura, since I have been making videos here on Facebook and speaking out about being on MAT, have you been able to find more people that are on Suboxone that you can relate to and that you feel a part of and more safe now, and you actually feel validated in your recovery? That's what I need to put up a poll, because I would love to know, like, because a lot of people give me.
Do you know how to put up a poll?
A lot of people give me problems for talking about MAT and the judgment that we get, but I think it's really important for me to do that because of so many people. Oh, good, Laura's here. Hey, girl, what's up?
Hi, how are you all?
I'm good. How are you?
I was a little uneasy about doing this. I'm still weird because I don't have dentures yet, so.
Oh, you're fine. I won't. We ain't gonna judge you here. So tell me what you got going on. Tell me about. I see your comment. You have felt judged by other people. So tell me about that.
Yeah, I've been in recovery for probably 20 years now. I was on methadone 2 different times. The last time was after I had a car accident and flipped the car 3 times and woke up on a ventilator. So I never touched methadone and benzos after that, and I got on Suboxone. And until Suboxone, I wasn't able to stay sober at all. And I've been on Suboxone now for about 15 years. And then I was in the very early days of Suboxone, so what I was told was that I wasn't sober on Suboxone. So I never counted it in my heart because I always thought that's what I was going to be judged by. And you all have shown me different.
I am so glad that you are here and hanging out with us, because that's what people told me too. But I was like, I'm not accepting that, because I mean,
I didn't want to either.
I mean, I know you can probably relate. Like when I was in active addiction, there's no way I would be here on Facebook heading a group meeting, you know?
Nope. Me neither. I don't even like going in when I have to go in still yet now once a month. I don't even like doing that.
I would be passed out, or like it would just be bad. And so that's why I don't understand how people kind of try to compare it to us being in active addiction, when you can steadily see the turnaround and the change within somebody who is getting on MAT and it's changing their life. Like somebody like you and me who actually, we've changed our old behaviors. We're helping others.
I abused Suboxone too with a needle. I injected my Suboxone for years, and it's been probably 2 years now since I haven't done that, because I knew my only way to get sober was for me to take it the right way that I'm supposed to. And so that was one of the hardest things. And I didn't want my daughter to see me shooting up. So I stopped when she got old enough to notice.
A lot of people do that. A lot of people use their Suboxone in a way that, is not recovery. And we talked about that before, because somebody asked me, like, well, what if I snort my Suboxone pills, and I
ruined myself and my family, their opinions, by doing that. So now they're kind of already judgmental about it because they knew I wasn't doing it right. Yeah. So now they're like, we don't know whether we believe you or not. So, and I let it be that way.
You. Tell me this, like, didn't it hurt? How did you do that without it like gumming up, or without it like leaving an abscess in your arm? I mean, like, didn't it? I thought that it would mess up?
Okay. I forgot to tell you this part. Before I became an addiction, I was a X-ray technician at a hospital here in West Virginia. So,
Oh wow.
I knew how to do that without hurting myself.
Right, right. Well, I mean,
And
I've
I
done
was
it
a little
before.
too comfortable with being able to use a needle because we were taught to do IVs as X-ray techs. So
Uh-huh.
it was worse that they taught me because it ruined me later.
In my experience, because I've done that one time and it was back in 2010 when I was in active addiction, it was so it was like thick and gummy and like it was just crazy. I can't believe I did it. But it was a hassle. Like, it was a hassle doing it. Like it was a whole process. And
It
the thing about
collapsed every vein I have in my body. When
that's
I
what I was gonna
had
say.
my daughter, they had to put my IV in my neck because of what the damage that I've done to my body.
Now, were you getting a feeling from it or were you just like did it make you feel high?
In the very, like, no, absolutely. It never made me feel high.
That's what
It
I
just
thought.
made me feel better. It was the addiction that kept me doing it, not that I got a high from it. It becomes an addiction as well when you shoot up, and that shooting up is its own addiction in itself, in a
Right.
way.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree. Because a lot of people will try to tell me, I get high on my Suboxone, and I'm like, no, you don't.
Mhm.
If you
No
take
way.
Suboxone every single day, you cannot get high on it. Now,
No, you can't.
if you skip days, like this is the only way you can get high on Suboxone. If you take it on Monday and you skip Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then take it on Saturday because it has left your system.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe. Exactly. Maybe because you might have it might be even longer than that. But it's like people will tell me that this one guy I know, he's been addicted to snorting it for like 4 years and he swears that he's getting high on it. And I'm like, dude, you're not. You're literally just taking
Girl,
it.
my nose is still broken because I put way too many pills up in it. So I will not, I will only take my strips now, and I will
Good.
only put them under my tongue now because my nose is so broken and it leaks all the time. It's terrible.
Well, you see how it's like it's important to have good intentions, like if
It
you're
is.
if you're manipulating the system and you're snorting or shooting your subs, like I
That
believe that
that will
that's
catch up with you if you're doing that. Just anybody
right.
on here that if you're doing that, it will catch up with you. It did with me.
I believe that it's a step in the right direction because you got off of hard drugs to get on Suboxone. Like it's a harm reduction, but
It was.
you still have a ways to go to get to the
Mhm.
recovery point. And not talking shit about you or anything, but I think that's why a lot of people are trying to hold it against us because they think that all of us are doing that. You know what I mean?
And see, I already know that I did that to myself. So that way I don't get upset with my family or loved ones when they do that to me because I
Right.
already understand that it's my fault. Because we have to take responsibility. It's my fault they feel that way.
Yeah, but you're taking your medication as prescribed now and you have been for the last 2 years, right?
Well, even no, I've been taking it as prescribed. Well, okay. Even when I was shooting it up, I was never taking the full prescription. I never. So I've always been on a small amount of the Suboxone because I never would take the full amount. Even if I was shooting it up, I wouldn't.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm on just one a day.
Good, good.
But it
That's
goes
good.
only under my tongue. I threw away all the needles and I won't let them around me now, period.
Good, good. And don't you feel better now that you're doing things the right way? Like
I
in your
do, but
heart?
I'm so tired. The energy levels, it's what I swear I'll never get back. And I don't know what to do about that because I'm so tired all the time. And I know it's car accidents and, drug addiction and all the things I've done to my body now.
Do you know that's like what I struggle with too? So many people do. So I think it's like I've looked up my Dr. B said anhedonia, and then what else did he say? Some other thing. But
I love
it's like
watching him too. He's so
anhedonia is
nice.
like where you can't feel pleasure anymore. Like nothing in your life is pleasurable. But I believe, and this is what because I talked to Dr.
Childhood
B about it.
traumas play a part in that as well.
I think a lot of us we have depleted the ability for our brain to produce like dopamine and serotonin and the good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And because of the years and years and years of drug abuse that we took part in, like we have sucked it out of our brains. And so now the only way that we get any kind of dopamine is when our medication helps with it a little bit. And then, like natural
Very
stuff,
rarely.
like eating a piece of chocolate or whatever. I don't know, but it's not a lot.
Sometimes chamomile tea helps me a little because I had the benzo addiction as well. So I totally feel you. The only thing I didn't do like you was the meth, but I also had a child and I was
Mhm.
addicted when I had her. So, and the trauma of that whole experience in itself is just insane.
For the last 7 years, I've been searching for the answer to why I don't have energy and why I feel tired all the time. And I mean, it has taken me to a point where I've gotten so depressed because I don't
Me
have
too.
energy. I don't feel like doing anything. I don't have motivation.
Mhm.
And I will go to my doctor and I will cry, dude, begging him to help me. And he'll give me more Wellbutrin. And I'm like, dude, Wellbutrin's not going to help me have,
They
it's like,
tried that with me, girl, and I was like, oh no. I was prescribed benzos at one point also, on top of my Suboxone that was in the early days of Suboxone, though.
mhm.
But I was prescribed both, so I actually have an anxiety condition to where I actually need to be medicated, but I cannot be.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now I'm good without the Xannies because I see what torment they put my life and the loved ones I have through.
I feel like a lot of doctors could help us, but they are so
Mhm.
scared to give us
They're
anything that
scared
can
of
help.
us because we're addicts. They don't, I know that because I worked in the medical field. They don't want to mess with us. They are so terrified. And I understand. I can't be mad at them for it.
It sucks. It sucks.
But it
It
really
really
sucks.
does.
I know.
Because
And
I
I
would
stay
love
depressed and
to have
I'm inside.
medication for my for ADD that could help me with that and also
Me
help me
too.
with my energy, and I could take it in the morning and get my stuff done, and I would go in for pill counts, I would go in for daily checkups, I don't care, just
I
something.
told the doctor once if he would prescribe me Xanaxes, I would go in every day to get my Suboxone and every day to get the Xanaxes, and I would go get it daily because
Mhm.
I was so desperate to get any kind of help that I could for my anxiety and no energy.
Right.
And so I begged him to do that, and he actually thought about it with me, but I never tried to staple him down on it because I know how dangerous it is.
Yeah, I can't do benzos. If I take
Oh,
benzos, I'm
hell
ready to
no.
go to the races. Like
Just recently, I've realized that
they make
I
me
can't even.
lose all fear, and I'm just like,
Oh God.
wow.
Oh, honey, let me tell you, I'm not allowed in Walmart. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-mm. And I
I
won't even go
I
back
can
in.
wait.
I'm
I'm not
scared to
allowed
go
in
back
stores.
in now, and I haven't done that shit for 10 years. They still look at me funny.
Yep, yep, I understand. Well, do you
Oh,
have anything
girl.
else you want to say? I guess I'll let the next person who wants to come up tell us anything else you want to talk about, babe.
Um, my father was also an alcoholic. Right now, the biggest trouble I have is because my sister, who's 11 years older than me, is also an addict, and my brother-in-law died last October from cancer.
Oh man.
And my 16-year-old niece was removed from my sister's care right after her father died because she lost it. She was already on drugs, but went on my brother-in-law's cancer medicine.
Yeah.
And so when he passed away, my sister lost it, and that's really what caused me even more so to do better because my niece needs me now too.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you helping take care of her?
She's in Logan with my mom. I try to call and check on her when I can. I like right now, my heart is missing her so much because I live in Charleston. I live an hour and a half away from her. So
Mhm.
my heart is with her and she's there. And so like I'm very torn because I'm here with my daughter and but she's there and I can't get to her. But
Yeah.
I'm thankful she's with my mother.
Yeah. At least at least she's with family, because I'm telling you, CPS fucked me and my husband, and they made
Me
my son
too.
go into foster care, and it's just not cool at all. She's really fortunate that she could be with her grandma, you know.
And my daughter, like my mom said, she was like, Laura, I swear to God, I thought it was going to be you. I thought they would take Katie, and that's my daughter's name. I thought they would take her before they would take your sister's daughter. And, that actually made me feel good for my mom to say that to me. I was like, you know what, Mom, I'm not mad at you. Thank you for saying
Yeah,
that, because you're absolutely right. I thought it would have been me too. But thank God it's not.
yeah, for real. Well, thank you for coming up here, girl. I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
We love you. I try to,
Love you
just
guys
so you
too.
know, like, I try to let everybody come up for like 6 or 7 minutes or so, and then, but if you want to come back around, like, because I want to give anybody else that has a chance that wants to come up and speak come up and speak, and then if you, after everybody's done, if you want to come back up, you're always welcome to, because we stay on for about 3 hours sometimes.
Sure, I saw that last night. Thank you.
All right, girl. Love you. Bye.
Love you too.
Okay. Does anybody else want to come up here and chit chat with me and talk about, your recovery and share with us anything that you got going on in your life? I'm going to continue though I want to read y'all. Okay, let me tell y'all what anhedonia is, because for those of you guys that don't know, I work with Dr. B, and so I get to have his firsthand knowledge from him. I get to message him and ask him questions. And so, lack of pleasure, an inability to experience pleasure from activities usually found enjoyable. Common causes. Lack of pleasure can have causes that aren't due to underlying disease. Examples include overwork, recent tragedy, financial problems, bad weather, boring activities, and, addiction also. Treatments. Seeking medical care. Seek emergency help if you have suicidal thoughts, might harm yourself or others. Nope, I think Laura's back. Hey, girl, what's up?
Hi. Sorry, I lost you guys for a minute.
No, I was I was letting you go. Did you know
Well,
that?
bye, guys. I'm not technologically sound, sister. Let me tell you.
You're okay, girl. I love you. That was cute.
Love you too.
Bye. She's famous now. You're famous now, girl. I want to, if anybody else wants to come up and share, y'all are more than welcome to come up and share. Don't be embarrassed or nervous or anything like that. Like, we love having y'all up here. I love you guys I love hearing you guys when you come up here and share, and you don't have to worry about anybody looking at you crazy or judging you, because we're all the same. You know what I mean? Can we acknowledge these great grandparents that step up? Yeah, that's what I was just telling Annette. Like, it's a big deal to be able to take care of your kids for them, and like, when I tell you guys, I'm so jealous of those of you guys who have been able to have your families take your children. Hey, Lisa, what's up, girl? Hey, Amy, what's up, girl? Hey, Rachel, what's up? Like, I wish that I could have been in that situation, because it was bad. I was very lucky that the foster people were good people, but it was still awful. Okay. So, for those of you guys that don't know, we've been talking about like how addiction affects our children, and I just recently posted a video over on YouTube, and it kind of went viral, or at least for what I've gotten on YouTube, and it got over 100,000 views. And so, all the people that are commenting on it are kids whose parents are drug addicts. And so, I really, really want you guys to hear what they have to say, because it's really, really, really heartbreaking. I was in a very similar situation, but I don't really have any pictures with my dad, because he started when I was very young, got a little better, and then relapsed. He's trying now, but I still don't get those years back from my childhood, and I don't get to just have memories with him that were never there. I never would have thought at age of 65 that I would be taking care of a 3-year-old full time. I know, right? I met my mom. My mom was taking care of my sister's little boy for a while too. In the beginning of 2021, my uncle died to an overdose, and my dad almost did too. Then in April this year, my dad got arrested for drunk driving. Today is his birthday, and I'm going to see him, but my mom has to go with us because we were in the car when he crashed into a parked truck when backing out of our driveway. So he was also charged with child endangerment. Mm-mm-mm. Poor girl. To be better. And no, you're not alone. I used to hate her for the addiction, but I realize they're different. They're different. They realize the world's not all that great, and substance abuse to get rid of it till they go insane and are barely here on the earth anymore. That's true. Like when we are under the influence of drugs and alcohol, we are disconnected from reality. For Catholic grandmothers and godfathers, take custody if your parents can't take care of you. So I was lucky that some of them took us in. Yeah. Story time. Yay. I love hearing people's stories. Okay, yeah, listen. These are children commenting on my video. So I want y'all to listen. My stepdad is huge and has gone to rehab 5 times in only 14 months. 14, almost 15. And I feel you. My dad is a drug addict and has gone to rehab 5 times. I'm only 14, almost 15, and I remember the day he was put in rehab. It never helped him, but I know that for a lot of people, they get better, and I'm sorry that you have this happen to you. So that's a 14-year-old kid. Drugs are an awful thing. I lost both my mom and my stepdad to drugs. They were never abusive or insane or anything. You wouldn't have known they were on drugs. I didn't find out until after both had passed away. So this little girl lost both of her parents to drugs. I am a child of both an addict and an alcoholic, and it is not nearly as bad. He is now much better and hasn't touched any of that in 9 months. He never did anything extreme, but he did get into some physical fights with his father and brother-in-law, and he had to leave our house for about 6 months. But I'm so glad he's back and doing great. I'm so sorry about your dad, and I hope you're doing okay. My grandpa passed away last year, and then my great uncle died a few weeks after that. I've been really sad. Yesterday, as y'all know, Queen Elizabeth died. R.I.P. I was extremely upset about that, and then I got news that another family member had died due to an overdose, and my uncle was going to commit suicide. It's been very upsetting, and I poured my heart out to my friend, and guess what she did? Started talking about her crush. Like, I just explained that I'm upset, and you're going to start talking about some stupid boy? And then she got mad at me for wanting to take a break. But yeah, I just want to cry. I'm going to comment back. And you can tell that they're kids because of the things that they're talking about, you know? We have a program at the health department called Grandparents Raising Grandchildren Financial Assistance. Lots of different things. Might help some families to look into this. What state are you in, Kristen? I wish my daughter understood addiction. It takes a village to not only raise a child, but to support that child throughout their lifetime. Absolutely. Absolutely. I wish I would have known that there were people willing to support me when I was 7. My mom had abusive parents and became an alcoholic. She tried to quit on her own, but she couldn't. She needed help. She went to a rehab-like place to help with depression and anxiety and to help with her alcohol problem. I always thought it was my fault, and I wanted to take my own life because of it. I was 12. So glad to say she's so much better now, and I'm so proud of her. And now I'm unfortunately on medication for my anxiety and ADD. I said, hey, that's okay. But, man, I lost my dad to drugs, made him do bad things and go to jail, and my mom won't let us visit him anymore. But secretly, I miss him a lot. But seeing someone else go through this too, I'm sorry because I know the way it feels. Okay. There's so many. I could read so many. There's over 500 comments, you guys. Over 500 comments. So, how many of you guys struggled with addiction while you had children? You know, I remember when I was young, I always imagined what it was going to be like when I was going to have my son and or my daughter, whatever I was going to have, right? And I had this like fairy tale made up in my mind, and then I ruined all that with drugs and alcohol. And when I reflect on my life in my past, I realize how much time I wasted using substances. You know, there was this like false sense of pride, false sense of security that I had in drugs. Drugs made me feel nothing, and I enjoyed not feeling anything. It made me feel better when I didn't have to feel anything, you know? And now I'm just so grateful that I have been able to stay sober, because I don't want my son to ever have to go through that where he doesn't feel like he has support. Hey, Nicole, I am a longtime follower, and I've been so happy to see how much the MAT community has grown. A couple of years back, when I was looking for help, the only thing I would find on MAT was how negatively it had affected them, or how long they were sick when they went cold turkey. I think the reasons I find so many positive examples of MAT is because NA and AA openly discourages you to share if you are on MAT, because they don't see it as being sober. You were the first channel I ran into that spoke about the benefits, and I sat there and listened to you and finally got the courage to get help. 3 years later, I'm still here, sober and alive, living my life. And that is from my friend Sonia. She's in here. She's in the chat right now. Sonia and me, she has literally been following me for 3-4 years now. And when I went and traveled to California to see Dr. B, I actually got to see and meet Sonia. She came and picked me up from the airport with her husband. And you have no idea, y'all. It was like hanging out with one of my cousins. She was so sweet. And when I go back to California, I want to be able to spend the night and hang out at your house, Sonia. Hey, hey, Lisa. Hey, Jessica. What do I say to my daughter when she tells me I chose drugs over her? Because God knows I wasn't really trying to choose drugs over her. She just turned 17 years old on the 7th. One more year and she'll be a grown adult and can make her own choices. I just hope she'll come back around and let me prove to her that I have changed my life. It's hard, Amy. It's hard when they're that age, you know? You want me to read it again? Okay. What do I say to my daughter when she tells me I chose drugs over her? God knows I wasn't really trying to choose drugs over her. She turned 17 years old on the 17th. One more year and she'll be grown. Oh, Sonia, I read your testimony, girl. So, Amy, it's hard when it's your own child, because I feel like anything you say, they're going to be like, Mom, you're just trying to justify it. You're just trying to rationalize. But this is how I explain it to people. I have a video you could send her that's really, really good, because it talks about why do parents choose drugs over their children. And so what I do is I explain that the disease of addiction is when you first try drugs and alcohol, that's your first choice. Okay. But after you take drugs and alcohol into your body, what you don't have control over is the way that those drugs react in your brain, in your body, right? Some people, they don't have the disease of addiction. So when they take substances into their body, they think, ooh, I don't like that. I don't want to feel out of control. And they stop. For somebody who has a disease of addiction, when we take drugs and alcohol into our body, it sets off a phenomenon of craving. Okay. And so what happens is we start craving more of that substance. And so that is what differentiates us addicts and alcoholics from normal people. Normal people don't have the phenomenon of craving. Okay. And we know that because of that craving, we will follow drugs into the depths of insanity, even death. And that could mean using drugs and alcohol when we have our children. Now, I will tell you this. When I was addicted, I was selfish. I was selfish and self-seeking. I wanted nothing more than to be able to quit drugs when I was pregnant with my son. And I tried. I really, really did. I tried, and I would get sober for a little bit and then I would relapse. And it was back and forth like that, which was super not good for me. But I was I was trying, and that coupled with the fear of CPS and them taking my son away, it was just a perfect storm, and I kind of wanted to stay under the radar because I didn't want them to take my baby. Did I knowingly choose drugs and alcohol over my son? No. That was never a thought process in my mind. I wasn't like, I'm choosing drugs over my son. No. Now, did I unknowingly do that? Yes, because I was controlled by drugs and alcohol, because drugs and alcohol hijacked my brain. And I was not the person that you see sitting in front of you today. The person sitting in front of you today, I would never do that. I would literally rather die than to do that, But back then, I was just not who I am. I was sick and I needed help. I needed a lot of help. And I was too afraid to ask for help to get it, because I thought if I asked for help, I would go and they would take my son. You ever look and think, who was that person? Like, looking back on myself, I'll show y'all some pictures from me in active addiction. When I was in an active addiction, I look back at what I looked like and I can see the emptiness in my eyes. I can see the darkness in my soul. So for me, everything is like, hey, Nicole, what's up, girl? If you guys haven't noticed, everything I do is told through my, like, you could see my expressions. Hey, Nicole, I can go live with you tonight if you want to. I'm like on live anyway, so this would be a great time because I am actually like up and ready to go. So let me share something with you. When I share, like, and I'm talking to you guys, like, you can see my facial expressions, you can see my eyes, and you can see I'm full of life, right? When I was in active addiction, it was the direct opposite. And I'm going to show you guys. I got to find some of the pictures. I did the same thing. I went into rehab several times, and it was easy to stay clean when you're in rehab and all. But once I got out of rehab, the race was on again. Yeah. So it's easy to stay sober in rehab because you don't have any, you are safe in there, Tomorrow, I'll be live from 7 to 8, which is 5 to 6 your time, and then I'm free. So we can do it tomorrow night, okay? Tomorrow night after my live, please, please, please call me. Don't text me, call me and be like, hey, girl, you're going live at 7. I'll see you after that. Okay. For instance, this is an example of what I'm talking about in my eyes, okay? Do you see what I'm saying? You can't really see it that good, I don't think. It was just like a deadness in my eyes. Hey, Mark, what's up, babe? It's a deadness in my eyes. It's like a block, and you can see that I was just, look how tiny I was. And I was just so sick, dude. So sick. But that's how I can always tell when I'm looking at pictures. I can tell if I was fucked up or not by looking at my eyes, and I can always see it right away. Oh, that's it. My eyes, that's what I looked like when I was in my addiction. I wish I could get back to that size again because I was happy at that weight. But I don't want to go back to that life, of addiction. Neil, will you take Jetta out, Neil?
Huh?
We take Jetta out. I stumbled upon you on Facebook, and I would like to follow you, but I'm not seeing anything on my phone to allow me to do this. Hey, Annette. when you go, you have to add me as a friend, or if you want to follow me, then there is a I think it's, I don't know, on here there should be a follow button. I just don't know where. Let me go and look and see if I can find it, girl. Okay. Um Nate, don't kick, buddy, okay? My son's sleeping right here. I gotta find it on my phone and look and see. So when I go to my it says followed by, so where's the follower button at that you can follow me on? There should be, like, by my picture and everything. There should be like a little spot where you can follow, or because I can't see it on my end because I'm not, I can't follow myself. But if you can't find it there, you can go to my page, which is Discovering Nicole Pludre. And that's just a little check mark, I think. And on YouTube, yes, on YouTube, it's the subscribe button. Can you see it, Sonia, on Facebook to follow me? Because that's what she's talking about. She wants to follow my Facebook. Yeah, I hate that it's that people can't see it. That makes me mad. And here's the thing, you guys, like, I really want you guys to understand something. Like, I would never make excuses. Like, I fucked up, I caused my child I could have really, my son is so fortunate. I am so fortunate that he is okay and he is happy. Hey, Lindsay. Hey, Tasha. What's up, girls? Because it's not because I was a good mom. I was terrible. My son deserves so much better than what I gave him. And I will forever feel that guilt and shame. And I'll never be able to let it go. Never. Okay. Will you send her a link, Sonia? Thank you. I appreciate you. Sonia's got it covered. I got to make you a moderator. Hold on. Because I think I got rid of all my moderators here on, or I'll do it. How do I do it? I used to be able to do it so easy, and now I can't. Frappuccino. Okay. I'll have to figure it out. But I'm going to make you a moderator. And for those of you guys that don't know, hey, everybody, come on in. We're talking about how our addiction affects our children. And I have been reading to you guys some comments that have been left by children on my YouTube channel. Hey, Francis, what's up, girl? That's okay. That's okay. Because I know that that's your mom's account that you're on. I remember you because you have the same last name as a girl I grew up with in high school, Calhoun. So, like, I have my Facebook page, which is the Discovering Nicole Pludre. And that's my page. But I'll tell you, like, the best thing to do is to follow me on my public or on my Facebook account, like my personal one, because I do everything on my personal account. The reason why I do everything here and I just share it over there to the page, because there's 36,000 of you guys here on this page. And I want to make sure that I go live where everybody's at. You know what I mean? And so I always share it over to my Discovering Nicole page, though. So that's good, I guess. I mean, do I have it on there? Did I not share it? Oh, hell no. Now I got to share it over there. But I always go live every day, Monday through Friday, maybe on the weekends. I haven't decided. But I go live every day here on Facebook. Sometimes I go live at 3:45 or 6 o'clock. But I will always post on my Facebook page and tell you guys, hey, today's live is going to be at this time, or today's live is going to be at this time. So that way you guys know. Hold on, y'all. Hey, kid. What's up, baby? And I appreciate you for helping, Sonia. It really helps me out a lot. Okay, let me get back to the focus, Nicole. I still want to read you guys some more of these little stories from these kids because I think it's important. Now, I will tell you this. I have put it on my account. I told the kids that if they want to come tell their story, they have to be 18 years or older. If they're not, they have to have permission from a parent. Okay? Okay. Yeah, thank you, Annette. Okay, so here we go. I lost my dad to drugs and oh, we read that already. Drugs made him do bad things. There's so many comments. I'm trying to go to the very bottom. I will tell you this, Annette, since you're in here, I feel like I should talk to you about this. So the thing that made me finally get sober was me losing custody of my son. Oh, there we go. Was me losing custody of my son. I've noticed, and this is, I hope this is going to make you upset, but I have noticed a lot in people who have their children taken away and their family members get custody. It almost gives them like a free ride. Like they feel like, oh, my child is safe because they're with my mom, and I don't have to rush to get sober because my mom's taking care of everything. To me, there was a fire lit under my ass because my son was with complete strangers, you know? And so that made me like super duper like eager and gung ho to get him back. Now, do all people do that? No. Some people get serious and it doesn't matter who has their kids, you know, they get serious and they get sober. But I have noticed that's kind of like happens for a lot of people. I watch and thank you. It's kind of eye opener of how to see how it affects other people and how an addiction can affect other people, not just the person going through it. Hopefully, I get to watch more lives. Oh, thanks, Ruiz. I really appreciate you coming in here and hanging out with us, girl. And me too. Me too, girl. I'll be crying my eyes out reading these, and it's eye opening. It's eye opening to see how our addictions affect our children. Listen to this one. I went through the exact same thing. My dad died when I was 9 years old, and I was the one who found him. He was my best friend. He's still, and he is still my best friend. He's just in heaven now. God damn. Like, that's from a little kid wrote that, you know? Just like the other kid had written something about being worried about his parents and getting out of the house. And like I said, they shouldn't have to worry about that. All they should be worried about is literally being kids, having a good time. My sister had my kids. I kept messing around. As soon as they went into foster care, I got it together. Yep. My father is a drug addict and has left me 2 times, but came back. He is sober now, but every time I try to talk to my friends about it, they don't understand. I lost my dad to alcohol. He killed himself on his birthday, September 21st. It is coming up to the 1-year mark of his death. I think about him every day, thinking what I could have done differently. If I did something differently, he would still be here today. If I came back to him sooner, then he would be here today. But the cycle would still be going. So maybe I made the right decisions. Please pray for my dad. So this person's dad died because he took his own life. And now this poor little kid is blaming themselves for not getting to their dad soon enough to save his life. I lost my mother to drugs and other things only when I was a baby. She's been in and out of jail and I've never met her. Now I'm 12 years old and I have the best substitute ever. Substitute as in a new mom. I still miss her every day and I wish I knew her. My dad was an alcoholic. He left though. I'm supposed to still be able to see him, but he asked not to see me and to only see my brother. So I'm kind of lost. Damn. I just lost my birth mom to drugs this year and my dad's about to die too. I am adopted, but I've never got to meet them. I didn't talk to my dad for years, around 12 to 13, because of drug usage and addiction. I finally let him back into my life in 2020, only to lose him in December of 2020. I know it's not the same situation, but I know how it feels to lose a parent to drugs. You never live the same after the day you lose them. Just know you're not alone, and even though everyone's situation is different, we all collectively know how it feels to a degree. I really hope you're doing okay, even though we don't know each other, because the feeling of losing people, whether they did or are just gone out of our life, especially because of a situation like usage, literally feels like the whole world is crashing in on you. So, it is very, very sad, and it's very important for us to hear this stuff, you know? My mom is an alcoholic, and when she gets drunk, she always insults me and my weight and how much I'm a disappointment to her. That pisses me off. So I commented and told them that they're not a disappointment. I moved out when I was 18 due to living with drug abuse with my mom for almost my whole 18 years of life. I'm now 20 and can say I feel free, not to be guilted for no reason and told that I'm a burden because she don't receive uh, CBT for me anymore. I guess child support. And for them to snap on you whenever they feel like because they're coming off of drugs. Oh, that makes me so sad. I was about 8 years old when my dad was an alcoholic. So I was awake for like 5 hours past my bedtime at 7 p.m., waiting for my dad to come home. At 4:45 a.m., he had to go to work again. So I woke up and I remember saying, "Please don't leave me," and "goodbye" every time he left. I slept 4 hours and about 45 minutes every day as a child. Now he is not touching alcohol, and I am not allowed to touch it as well. Well, hell yeah. Yeah, yeah. And these are little babies that are commenting this stuff on my page, y'all. That's why I had to come here and read them to y'all. Because they're pouring their hearts out on this YouTube video. And I just can't believe it. Listen, I rarely ever see my dad. Every time I do, it gets worse. He is a huge alcoholic and can't stop. We've been convincing him to stop. It hasn't worked. And when I was little, he tried to choke my mom to death right in front of me and my sister's eyes. She left him and called the police, but we had already drove to my relative's house. So by the time they got there and they said they couldn't get in, later we found out he passed out in the bathroom and didn't hear the door. And he denies the whole thing. And I'm like, dude, I was literally there. And I don't know what to do. He also started dating an insane lady a few years ago, and I'm scared for him every day. Every day they get into fights. He also started vaping, so that's a new problem. He has also chased my mom's car once. She was dropping us off because we used to stay there 3 nights a week. Now we don't even stay one. And he said, "I'm not drunk." My half sister, he is not the father, started crying, and we had to call the cops for an alcohol check. And there are so many more stories. I cannot type them all. Okay. I'm not going to make y'all hear any more of those, but you might think, "Oh, my son or daughter is young. My addiction doesn't affect them. They don't know what I'm doing. They can't tell or whatever," right? This is literally living proof for you to see that even if your child is young, they know what's going on. They sense it. They can feel what's going on, even if they're young. And so if you're somebody who's struggling with addiction and you have young children in the house, do those poor babies a favor. Let them go and live with your family and get help. Don't keep them there because you're selfish and you don't want to get help from your family. Let those babies go free and be with family members who can love them and take care of them when you can't. I lost the father of my 5-year-old 3 years ago to meth-induced psychosis. Crazy thing is that he died with no drugs in his system, and I know he was meth-free for at least 30 days. Hearing her tell everyone that ever comes in her life that her daddy is in heaven kills me. The father of my two oldest girls have been in and out of jail, and when my now 8-year-old was born, his arrest record and his daughter's birth announcement was in the same paper. Oh man. Now on to me. For the last 3 years, I have been. Oh, it didn't show. Okay. I thought it was going to show more. So sorry about that. I'm so sorry, Jessica. But yeah, our babies are so smart, and they know exactly what's going on. And so, I wish that I had been smarter and just asked for help. And that's why I make my videos talking about addiction and a pregnancy and having children, not because I'm bragging about it, not because I want to be famous for being addicted and pregnant. It's because I want to help people not make the same mistake I did. Like, who would want to be famous for being addicted and pregnant? You know what I mean? That's not something I want, but I do want to help people. That's a hard pill to swallow, letting someone else take care of your kids because you literally can't even take care of yourself. Yep, it really is. It really is hard. But you know what? It's the best thing you can do. And because here's the thing, like, I realized how selfish I was, and I could have gotten help, and I could have placed my son with family who would have taken care of him. Hey, Turtle. And I regret that, and I will always regret that. And so that's why I want you guys to know that there's no shame in doing that and getting help. That's a respectful thing to do, to say, I can't do this. I need help. I need help, and I don't want to cause my children any more harm. Reading all those kids' comments and hearing them talk about how they love their parents, even though their parents are on drugs. Like, your child's love will never diminish. Your babies will always, always love you. They'll always love you. And kids are super resilient, right? But they deserve so much more than us being fucked up and high all the time. They deserve to not have to worry about where their next meal is going to come, or worry about people stealing their stuff because you're having every Tom, Dick, or Harry up in your house. Right, exactly, Jessica. With my oldest son, I did not know he knew until one day he came to me and said, "Mom, you take bad medicine." Just the other day, he says, "Mom, I'm happy you only take your doctor's medicine now." Huh, Mom? My heart broke when he told me at 9 he knew what I was doing was wrong. I cried. He is my ride or die baby. He loves me and feels great in being proud. I did it though. My mom still has my oldest, and I've recently just been able to earn my place back in their lives. One day at a time. It took me a long time to realize that the oxygen mask analogy is real, because if I'm not good, I can't be good for anyone else. Absolutely. And listen to me, I understand, you guys. It's hard when you are a mom to admit that you are not in a good place, right? Because we're moms. We're supposed to just make things happen. Do you know what I'm saying? And so having to admit that you're struggling and that you can't do it on your own, it's fucking hard, dude. It takes a lot of courage to do that. But I'm telling you, it'll be so much better for you if you do it that way than having your kids removed from your care. Having them ripped out of your care by CPS is no way you want to go. It's the worst. My son said he was happy I don't act funny and sleepy when I come out of the bathroom anymore. Oh, Jessica. We fix everything, but in addiction, it's hard to fix that. Yep. So I'm about to wrap this live up, but I am going to be going live over on TikTok now. So if you guys want to come over and hang out over on TikTok, I'm going to put my TikTok name in the chat for you guys to see. I bet you I can get my link too. Hold on, let me get y'all my link. That'll be easiest. Because I'm going to go live on there and go downstairs. I'm going to get the dishes in the dishwasher, and I am going to go on live and talk about, because I talked about this last night on live on TikTok. So maybe I'll talk about something different. I don't know. If y'all want to come and help me out, though, y'all can. There's my TikTok account. Y'all can help me out with the topic over there. Let me put that up. Pin. All right. I love you too, Lisa. Thank you so much to everybody that has became a member over on my YouTube channel. You can see Lisa has that little green sign beside her name. Over on my YouTube channel, there is a way for you to become a member of my YouTube channel. You don't have to pay to be on there or to subscribe, but if you want to support me, just in a different way, I think it's $5.99 for the membership on YouTube, and it's just a way to show, just to support me. Now, I was trying to do member only live streams, and I still haven't been able to nail down a time for that, but we will be doing member only live streams very soon. I just need to figure out like a time of the day where everybody that is in my membership can be available. And then we'll have like one members only live stream every 2 weeks. So 2 a month, and it'll just be all of us. So thanks, Turtle. But like I said, don't feel pressured. You don't have to do that. It's only if you want to. I really support any of your support. I really appreciate any of your support. If you want to support me and you're like, Nicole, I ain't got $5.99. That's okay. You can support me in commenting, liking, and sharing my videos. Sharing my videos on other people's pages and other platforms helps me out a lot. It helps me to be able to get the word out to other mothers who might be pregnant and addicted or have their kids and are struggling, to other fathers all over, So I appreciate y'all. So I just put that out there. It's just like a thing that YouTube has enabled. And so I don't ever want to make anybody like feel uncomfortable or feel like I'm just trying to like get money from you, because that's not the case. If I was, I'd set up a GoFundMe and be like, I need money. no, I'm just like, I love you guys. Now, what I will tell you guys this, how do you view live? What do you mean, Maddie? Oh, for our members only lives on YouTube. So if I do a members only live, there's a way for me to communicate to only my members. So what I do is I go on my community tab and I message all my members. It'll say members only, and it'll alert you. And I put the link to our live stream there. So that way only you guys can click on it and then we go live. And then what I do when I do those members only lives, it's usually like you guys come up and we all come up and we're all on the screen, or we take turns coming on the screen. And it's nice. It's fun to connect with everybody like that. So, but that's just an option. You don't have to do that. Okay, guys. Now on TikTok, I'm going live right now. So come over and hang out. On TikTok, there's like a subscription thing, but yeah, it's either you can do both or you can do either or. Hey, Luke, what's up, man? Thank you, Dana. I appreciate it. And like I said, every single one of you guys, when you share my content and you invite people over to listen to my videos, it helps me a lot. And I really appreciate you guys spreading the word and just being here to support me. Every little bit counts. I started my YouTube channel in 2017, and it took me years to build it to this point. And I'm about to hit 11,000 here any minute now, because I just hit, let me see, I want to show y'all. I'm really happy about this because I've been working so hard. And the way I do videos on YouTube is different. Like, I don't put out YouTube videos that are all professional. Like, my way of connecting with my audience is like we are now. It's connecting with you guys. It's going live. And I'm more of a hands-on kind of person. So we're at 10,851 over on YouTube. And I just hit 10,000 at the beginning of the week. So that's huge. So if you guys are not following my YouTube channel, you better come over and follow it. Okay. All right. I'm going to sign off. I will see you guys over on TikTok. Keep it real. Share my shit, like my shit, and comment on my shit. Don't use drugs. If you have children and you are a drug addict and you're struggling, like I said, reach out, get help, have somebody take your kids so that way you can get sober. I hope by sharing these children's comments with you and sharing what they go through, loving their parents who are addicts, I hope it helped you see from a different perspective how much our addictions hurt our children. Okay? All right. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. I'll be on here tomorrow too. Bye.